What's up, troopers? It's time for another episode of Notorious Scoundrels. I'm Evan. That's Mike over there. How you doing, Mike?
You know, I'm here. I'm like tired enough that I probably would not register on the sober scale. So, you know,
the perfect time.
Yes.
So you're
Yeah.
saying that your thresholds are lowered.
I would go as far as to say that. Yes.
But I want you to hold nothing back, because that's what's good for the content.
Do I
as,
ever?
As if you ever do. Speaking of the opposite, of someone who claims to hold things back, and like someone who puts on a show, really. Some might call it a song and dance. It's one that Mike and I are very immune to by now, believe me. But beloved member of the community, Brian Baer. Welcome back to the show, Brian. It's been such a long time since we've had you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Been so busy lately.
You know, you have a new podcast and video series. Do you want to have a?
I tried to listen to that several times, Brian Baer. I can't get past the first 20 seconds because it hurts my ears.
Wow. Do we have live criticism going on, Mike?
Yes.
Tell me more.
The best part, Mike, is that we've had more comments, like supportive comments. Be like, "Oh my gosh, the intro's amazing! Everyone like loves the intro." So I'm glad that you hate it, because that's totally expected.
Yep. You're welcome.
Yeah,
what else do you want from me?
That's some free feedback for your show. Do you want to tell us about what this show is called?
Yeah, the Nerf Herder podcast. It's myself and John Bushfax Bushman, Minor Tom, and then we have a guest pretty regularly. So just some random person. And
you're on every episode.
I do try to be on every episode. Yeah. Ugh. I know. It's hard to
so whoever
I did
wants
say
to
it hurt my
crap,
ears.
go right ahead.
we are I can say that this next week's podcast, we're going to have the LSO winner, Colton's going to be joining us, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, we are going to be talking about LSO later on in this podcast, but we have a nice multitude of topics to get to, like nice variety show. And I do want to start off by saying thank you to our sponsors, which is Game Toppers and Legion Terrain. You can check out links on our YouTube page for that. Also want to give a shout out to a random patron, Jess David. Thank you for your support. And let's just get right into it. Brian, I love to do the correction segment when you're on.
Yes, perfect.
And for whatever reason, there's something about just wanting your like fair and balanced view in terms of like whether we should feel bad about something.
I love that you put fair and balanced in air quotes.
Yeah,
that was great. What are you trying to say here?
Pretty much everything about Brian should be in air quotes, honestly. That's just like the essence of who he is. Like nice guy, et cetera, et cetera. So this is actually a brief one, because we managed to have relatively few people compared to usual, you might say, that have responded to our videos with comments correcting us. Usually people don't hold back, and so this is just a reminder, you don't need to hold back. Like, we're honest people.
To be clear, we've just been right, you know?
Exactly. We've been better about being right. And of these 3 corrections, only one of them actually has to do with us truly getting something wrong together. One of them has to do with me getting something wrong. But first of all, I did want to mention, this is more of an omission, that I was talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl a couple episodes ago.
Yes.
It is up to me to mention the fact that he is from Gig Harbor, Washington, very close to me. So just
Gig
wanted to make
Harbor?
sure that people... Gig Harbor.
Like it's got a gigabyte of data in its harbor?
Yeah, or it's a harbor where you can play guitar, or whatever. I think a gig is some kind of a nautical term, actually.
Okay.
Right? Write in if you know. And then we can correct it on the next one. But yeah, shout out to Matt Dinneman. Very, very good book series. Brian, have you heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl?
I have. I've not checked it out. I need to, because
you would like it.
One of my favorite fantasy authors speaks very highly of it. So my favorite fantasy author is Brandon Sanderson, and he loves Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I need to check it out. So
nice.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I saw, obviously, the AI bots have been listening to our conversations because now I see ads for it on Instagram all the time.
Yeah. That's how it works.
And I have never looked at it in my life. However, apparently they're making it into a movie or a show.
They're making it into a show. Yeah. They're making it into a live action show, which I think is an enormous mistake, because
it seems like animated probably is the world that
animated would be a way better
if you're
idea.
Gonna do it right,
either it will look like, I think that it's just like inevitable that it will either look like crap, or they're gonna have to change so much that it would make you like unfamiliar with the material, and so I feel like we'll see.
That's a tough toss up though, because I feel like the crowd that is like, animation is the way to go. It is a pretty limited crowd in general. Like you're not going to hit the broader population that way.
I agree.
And so, but like it could be done right. So I think like things like the League of Legends TV show that came out, like that, I felt like that was animation done fairly well. That I wasn't big into animation at all. I would have been more interested.
Yeah, you're talking about Arcane, right?
Yeah, Arcane.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Arcane.
Yeah, all good.
And I was thoroughly impressed with Arcane. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I would love to see some other adaptations similar, like in this.
So, I mean, I think that's just the point though, because like you think of Arcane and that the setting in Arcane is very fantastical, right?
Yes.
Like, the buildings, the magic stuff, like there's a lot of fantastical stuff. Like that show, I think, would have been very, very, very expensive to actually pull off as a live action show.
Yes.
Sure. Dungeon Crawler Carl has things that are 8 times as insane as anything you'd have seen in Arcane.
Oh, wow.
Just in terms of like the fantasticalness of it, the crazy things that are happening like on the page when you're reading this book. And so that's just why I just like can't see it happening at all. But we shall see. Yeah. Okay, second correction. This is the sort of the actual correction that I was referring to a second ago. So we spent a while talking about the concept of Haunton taking Hit the Dirt. And in doing so, we neglected to remember that when Haunton is activated, he has Unconcerned, and therefore Hit the Dirt wouldn't do Bubkiss.
Hit the Dirt, it's still good round 1 if you're not going to play Haunton's 1 pip.
Which is a mistake.
Who isn't right? Like, shout out to our English listeners. The people of England are the only ones who have tried to convince me that not playing the 1 pip turn 1 is the correct thing to do, and I still think that they're wrong. Brian, you're a Rebel player. Do you think that not playing the 1 pip is correct?
Yeah, I think in some circumstances, because you need better order control on round 1. It's important. Order control is important round 1, and that 1 pip really hampers you. So you're kind of going all in on Haunton there, and just hoping that you're pulling the right stuff at the right time.
This is an argument made by the 1% of Legion. They're like, we have everything, therefore we you know what? We don't need to play this 1 pip on turn 1. It's fine. We don't need to play the most powerful command card.
Mike is dead on here.
In the entire game ever. We can just wait. It's fine. We can it'll be okay. I
don't think it's the most powerful command card in the game.
But you're allowed to be wrong.
Later on, we might get into what you do think is the most powerful command card in the game, because I am curious about that now. Wow. So yeah, that was our bad. I will just mention Hit the Dirt in general is probably going to be the most spammed upgrade from this whole set.
I don't
Not
agree with
counting
that.
fire control, like being like, yes, there will be a copy of fire control in every list, but you can't spam it, right? So
I think adaptive control network is going to be more spammable because you have
that's only
to.
a one faction.
Well, I think hit the dirt is pretty close to one faction too.
It's Rebels and
I would agree. I would agree. It's pretty much Rebels.
It's like
Weequay
Rebels.
can use
You might put it on like your Empire Scouts, right?
It'll be great on Empire Scouts.
But
Really
I think outside the Rebel faction, it like you actually can't really spam it. Whereas, yeah, I guess I Shadow Collective's not a faction, but sure, yes,
things can go in any list.
Sure. But I do think. Is it controversial to say? I know it's very early, but I actually think if you are eligible to take hit the dirt, I think it just is stapled to every unit that could ever take it.
What and like we also talked about some hero units that would benefit from taking it. So like Sun Fac, for example, right? Like getting a free super cover on your Sun Fac when he has natural cover that he takes with him.
Jyn Erso,
it's sort of like free money at that point. Yeah, Jyn Erso. Like you think of like almost any white save trooper unit that's not a droid. There's several stipulations there, obviously, but yeah, it feels like they can all pretty much benefit from it.
I've had this conversation with several people, and there's a lot of people who I've had conversations with that have felt like it's not going to be as spammable as I think it should be. But
sure.
When you think about it, like how much lives you're saving, like it's a medic for the Rebel faction costs 20.
Yeah,
I mean, right? And I would say that every use of it will I haven't like actually gone and done the math, but I mean, if you're properly using it like on a large shot every time, like it's probably going to save you more health than a medic would in a lot of scenarios.
Excessively more. Like if you're getting shot by like especially if you're getting shot by 7+ dice, it's actually like starts to get real crazy how much you're saving.
And it doesn't have the drawbacks the medic has. The medic is timing sensitive, right?
Exactly.
The medic is, has to be used within a certain window. The medic has to be used by probably a different unit than the one being shot, and that one's got to be close enough to do the thing. Like there are so many limitations on that interaction. Whereas hit the dirt's like, yeah. Yeah,
because like let's just do some very straightforward math. Is that if you have 9 hits coming in, so let's say you're a fleet trooper, and so you have no defensive tech of your own. You have 9 hits coming in. Normally, you would into heavy cover, I should say. Normally, you would average blocking 3 of those with cover. Well, and then of those,
one of them is probably going to be a crit.
Yeah, but okay, 9 regular hits coming in.
Yeah, we're just going to pretend like because the crits change it a little bit, but not a whole lot, right?
Sure, we're gonna pretend Luke Cook's not rolling the dice.
Yeah, we'll pretend that these are straight up hits. So on average, you would block 3 of those, and then you would have 6 left, and on average, you would block 2 of those, which means that you would take 4 wounds on average with those fleet troopers. And so you change it to red save heavy cover. Now you're blocking 6 on the way in, and then you're blocking 1 more, which means that you're taking 2 wounds on average. And so then like you've literally gotten your medic charge in that situation. You've gone from 4 expected wounds to 2, and that's from a 3-point upgrade.
Yeah, and not just that, it's the variance change, right? So there's a lot of variance in that white cover save roll, whereas you're rolling red cover saves with surging to cover, like it's your variance to reduce dramatically, right? The fact, like the spike of like getting screwed and just rolling a bunch of blanks is so astronomically lower than what it would be without that.
Oh man, what's it like to say like roll like basically armor saves that are surging? Is that like a thing that feels good? Is that cool?
Yeah,
it's the thing that most of the factions are allowed to do, Mike.
Okay,
just not your usual faction.
Nice. I will tell you. I'll tell you that I've played quite a bit with my 6 super fleets with shotguns. One of them has Cassian and Lando, and a bunch of commandos, strikes, Sabs, whatever. Right. So that list hasn't lost yet, and I didn't have hit the dirt.
Do you remember when I mentioned the 1%?
I'm just saying that you hit the dirt on those guys, because usually I lose 2 squads of fleets on their way in, and a lot of dudes are dead. Now we're losing a heck of a lot less with hit the dirt.
Unless you get hit by a flamethrower. My Mandos are coming for you.
That's fine. I will trade my, what is it, like my 102 points for your 127. No problem.
No.
Right.
My flamethrower units are 70 points, my man.
Well, I'll kill those 2.
Settle down, guys. Yeah, work it out in the ring. Speaking of omissions, I actually did think of one more, which is that we didn't mention the fact that a fun thing you can do with fire control is just like leave it on Lando and have him hang out incognito for the whole game as a bunch of people shoot, and that takes away the relatively minor but present risk that you take with fire control of being shot back.
Yep.
You can't happen to you when you're Lando and you're incognito.
This is a good segue, actually, into forum rulings and fire control.
Oh, we're gonna do this now.
Well,
we're gonna do this now.
It's a good
Right.
segue. Yes.
So, turns out that you may upgrade the same die multiple times, as long as it is from different effects. The specific verbiage is a die cannot be upgraded or downgraded more than once by the same effect. If 2 different game effects, keywords, upgrade cards, command cards, or otherwise would upgrade dice, they may be used sequentially to upgrade a given attack die twice. And the specific example that was used was snipers upgrading their dice with the sniper team keyword and then upgrading their dice again with fire control, rolling triple red. That is a thing that now exists in Legion as soon as Upgrade Pack 2 is basically released. You have the floor, gentlemen. What do you think?
Lando's going to be surrounded by triple snipers all the time. with fire control. 3 red.
Can I
It just sounds so fun.
I want to do an Evan impression real quick here. Fair and balanced.
Yeah. It's not great. I feel like, I don't know. Does it feel thematic to have Lando just sitting there in the open telling snipers where to shoot?
That means you
having
can
them just like shoot 3
Well,
reds.
So this goes along. We'll talk about this a little bit, Evan. But my opinion is, if you're playing sniper strikes in the Rebel faction, you're playing your strike teams wrong. So we'll get to there later.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we are going to get to that.
To be clear, he didn't say they weren't taking strikes. I just want to underline that real before
okay,
before
yeah,
we.
So speaking of which, the last correction. I'm going to defend myself a little bit here, Mike, because I believe that what I said was that the sniper maxing meta specifically is not what we were concerned. What we were initially, it's not as bad as we originally thought.
Okay.
I'd agree with that. I would agree.
But Mike is taking issue with it.
I am taking issue with it.
Because you're
single person in the top 8 had sniper strike teams. Like literally all of them, at least 2,
LSO, by the way,
most of them 3.
This is just LSO. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, yeah. And obviously there are other tournaments that are yet to come. I think,
and a lot of other tournaments that have already happened. That also,
yeah, like Indie Open, where some bum got you were what, like you were low. Your finish was pretty low.
Right.
It was 3.
Yes, it was 3. But I also beat the number 2, which was frustrating.
Oh, it was.
So you got what you deserved.
Yeah, he got what he deserved worse than that. Like, let's not joke around here.
I was higher than Justin. Suck it.
But I'm not even sure why we keep inviting you. Like, we should bring Trent on, because he's the flyover state player who can actually tell us what's going on in this game. Like, you're kind of a has-been, Brian.
Trent and I, we've been trading punches every single tournament, and he's been strategically losing to me on crappy locals so that he can beat me on big stages.
Starting with Worlds last year and then just like continuing since then.
We've been going back and forth. Except I did get him at Indy Open last year, not the 2025 Indy Open. So yeah.
Yeah, and yet the numbers don't lie. I am looking at the Longshanks ranking right now.
Oh yes,
which, as you all both know,
undeniably accurate,
irrefutable, with the capital letters all the way through.
Yeah,
Trent Hale is ranked number 7. A certain handsome gentleman over here is ranked number 9, which is actually 8 because Antoine Grenay and Masked Ewok are the same person. And I don't know why he's on there twice. What sort of shenanigans do you think that you're fooling us with, Antoine? Yeah. Me and France have had a falling out. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Brian. Had to do with their airport situation. But yeah, we're fighting. And I have to scroll down pretty far to find you guys. So, I'm just saying that I think you guys
turns
need
out
to
if
shape
you
up.
play games of Legion, sometimes
so
your rating changes.
Here's the actual funny part about all this is that my ranking has benefited from the fact that I have not played in a Longshanks competitive event since WTC, and because of that, like I have actually gone up in the rankings, while you guys who are actually like trying to play the game have gone down. Because that's how awesome Longshanks is.
Foundationally, Longshanks, from a rating perspective, I think Longshanks is a great tool, but from a rating perspective, Longshanks punishes you for playing the game.
So yeah, I do want to separate the items here because like as a tool to run tournaments and to see what's going on and to look at like larger stats of how factions are doing, Longshanks is like really sick. And it's an invaluable tool.
Yes.
We
literally couldn't do the things that we like run these events without it. Yeah. Right.
Our show would only be half as useful to the aaverage listener, which is still not very useful. That's less useful than it usually is. Yeah. But yeah, for the individual ranking thing, I feel like it would be better off if it used a different system. But hey, like the good news is that nobody should care about that stuff anyway. So like we have literally only ever brought it up in this show as a joke. I promise. And it was especially funny when I was the number 1 ranked CIS player in the world because that was the dumbest thing of all time. So that's the correction segment, and thank you for getting the forum ruling in there. We have a little bit more news to talk about, which is to say that Gray Squadron, because they're a channel that actually goes places, they were at Gen Con, and because they were there, they got to talk to Will Schick. They had a nice 25-minute interview with them, so definitely worth checking that out. Would recommend it. It had a little bit of MCP talk in there, but it was mostly about Legion, I think. During that discussion, the Gray Squadron guys, they brought up the fact that the whole Mandalorian thing was a surprise, a very welcome surprise. I think we all agree on that, that none of us saw coming. And Will Schick, on his own merit, just decided to say that, and I quote, Mandos are hard to beat. Like, well, if anything can do it, I think it might be the thing that we're going to announce next year. So we'll see. Pretty exciting. End quote. So, like, we're content people. It's our job to theorize and speculate. Let's start with you, Brian. Just put your money on something. What do you think it is?
Now, so real quick, some clarity. When he says tough to beat, does he mean like beat in the game, or does he mean beat as in like reveal?
I think he means in terms of reveal excitement from the community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were specifically talking about how the community has received the entire rollout kind of front to back.
And to add to that, like it was also recently announced that for the first time since like they've done even the original Battle Force boxes, is that they are actually going to do a reprint of the Mando special edition box. I forget exactly what they call it. I don't remember whether it's Battle Force box or whatever it was. But, the one that has the unique sculpts for Din and Grogu and whatever, is that they're actually going to reprint that and do another run of it before the holiday this year.
Wow.
Because it sold out so fast. And when I heard about that, I was like, wow, did it really sell out that fast? And you totally can't find it anywhere online anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, it is gonzo. But hey, it's definitely good news that they're going to do a reprint run on it. They definitely didn't do that for like Blizzard Force and Echo Base. I'm sure you can still find those out there.
They were very clear in their post online too that like this is not going to be a normal.
This is a one-time only thing.
And
that this is not going to be a regular thing. Because the intent is that these are like limited releases, and that's why they have limited edition figures. Blah blah blah. So all that is to say, Mandos were obviously super duper popular,
and they're huge. Like it was took some study to learn what the heck you're supposed to be doing with those.
Yeah. I think it took us a total of like 6 hours of airtime between Adepticon and then the actual reveals to get through it all. So Brian, given all that, what do you think they're talking about?
Oh man, something that's gonna beat that release, because that was some homework to get through. And so you think like things that the community has been begging for traditionally. You got things like Gungans. Everyone has been saying that,
Gross.
But I can't imagine Gungans being bigger than the
Gungans are not bigger than Mandalorians, right?
Right?
No, they're just not, right, Mike?
No.
They're just not.
Well, I'm not sure that's fair to Gungans, first of all. I think there are probably a lot of Gungans that are bigger than Mandalorians.
They've got bigger ears.
They're very tall,
Boss Nass is larger than most Mandalorians. It's true.
Yeah.
He would be on a big base,
and those big dinosaurs with the shield generators, those are
true.
While not technically Gungans, would probably be a part of the. I have a hard time leaving those out of
part
the
of the
Gungan
diaspora.
army. Yeah. So
I don't know.
They're also
I would love. I'd just love to see more Star Wars in general. So I don't know what that means. I know that we were chatting before, and there's some of you guys were talking about different eras. I'd be up for that.
Yeah, so I think that. Well, so before I say what I think, Mike, if you had to predict, what's your prediction?
I think the most obvious place that hasn't been done yet is sequel trilogy stuff. I think
that's kind of where I was.
That's the actual correct answer for what is the biggest possible thing they could do.
Yes,
right?
and I think
Yeah.
I really don't think Resistance should be its own faction in Legion. I think it should be
more rebels, man.
It's just more rebels. It probably should just be like a battle force or something, with maybe like different versions of the heroes that are available. Like a different version of Leia. Maybe you get like an old man Luke in there or something. I don't know, whatever. But First Order definitely would be its own faction, like for sure. And I would put Kylo on the table, for like 100% not close. That sounds like fun to me. Does it beat Mandos? I don't know. The sequel trilogy kind of sucked,
Oh boy.
So
there's some. Let's imagine here real quick. So let's imagine that you're playing your Mando list, and you roll up and you like shoot a big shot at Kylo Ren, and Kylo is like, "Hold on, I'm gonna play this card that just stops your attack. We're gonna hold those dice, and that attack's gonna fling behind me at the beginning of the next round."
I hope we don't need more overpowered things in Legion right now. So
no, we do not. We have enough.
You're flying at me with your X-wing? How cool! I'm gonna pull it out of the sky and make it crash.
Yeah. Definitely, I think there's a lot of cool things you could do with it. I think the unfortunate thing about going in that direction is that I think it's very on rails. It's pretty limited. There is not, I think, for good or for ill, Disney has, I think, shied away from touching that era very much after the catastrophe that was Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, I think exemplified by the fact that the Starfighter film that is coming out next year looks to be a fresh, like it is set in the future, so to speak, of Star Wars, but it's like very much a fresh coat of paint is what they're aiming for, rather than being related to the sequel trilogy.
I think it was a long time ago.
All right, get out of here. But
Not that
and then
hard.
at the same time, though, is
that.
that like apparently they are working on a new trilogy where Rey is going to be the main star of it, and so that kind of goes against it. But yeah, like to me, I think that there's basically three things that could be at least close-ish to the bigness of Mandos that are not in the game. One would be doing some legend stuff. We have seen that in the Star Wars card game. And so we know that Lucasfilm, at least in that context, has been okay with it.
Yeah.
So it's possible that that could also be true in Legion. Now, I think that is like a very millennial coded answer to give.
Yes.
I think like we're all of us are of a certain age, so to speak. Like we're the people who played Knights of the Old Republic potentially when it was a thing. Whereas if you were talking to, I don't know, like a 24-year-old like Star Wars fan, are they really going to know what's going on with Knights of the Old Republic?
I bet you they might not even have heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because as much as I hate to admit it, Knights of the Old Republic was, I believe, 23 years ago is about when it came out. That game came out for the original Xbox.
Yes, it did.
Does not hold up well.
No. No.
It's like really,
awesome.
really bad.
It was
actually fantastic.
Such a great.
Yeah. And so even though that may seem big to us, it actually may not be the best like selling point decision for AMG to make. The other thing
there's
is
so
actually,
much cool crap that you could do with it.
There's a ton of cool stuff. Like if you're talking about, emptying the well, KOTOR alone has more cool stuff in it than all of the sequel trilogies combined.
Yes.
I would go as far as to say it might have all of the trilogies combined, period. Like I
think you can make that, especially if you wrap in the MMO that they did in the Old Republic setting, because there's a lot of cool stuff in that too. I played that for a little bit.
Yeah. It
was actually a good game back then. Okay, so the second thing I think it could be is some episode 1 related stuff, because as Mike and I talked about, not just the Gungans, but from a good guy standpoint, there's almost like, in fact, there's literally nothing from episode 1 in this game right now.
That's not true.
Okay, R2-D2 is in the game.
Okay, first of all, there are Trade Federation battle tanks, there are B1 battle droids.
I said from a good guy standpoint.
Oh, sorry. I
yeah, so like
you may correct me live.
Yeah, so and then even from a unique character standpoint, like Maul is there. But there's no representation of like Newt Gunray or
Qui-Gon,
even Darth Sidious, and yeah, like Mike and I, we both want Qui-Gon real bad. Young Obi-Wan is another thing. I think Amidala in her queen outfit is like a thing that you should do in this game eventually. And then there's the Gungans, of course.
Can you imagine if they released a Qui-Gon pack where it was not only was Qui-Gon like the man, the myth, the legend in it, but you also got a Force Ghost Qui-Gon. They could like talk to your Obi-Wan Kenobi. You could like take him as like a counterpart, Free,
probably more of an upgrade.
Free shenanigans, AMG. But put him in as a counterpart. I think because I think with the way the counterpart rules work, like you actually could just do that, right? Because like all the counterpart rules are on the counterpart card. Like if you have Iden and Dio, like you actually like if you take Iden like and just look at the card, like there's no So you could just be like Force Ghost Qui-Gon as a counterpart.
Watch out, Obi-Wan. I'll take this wound for you.
Yeah. It would be awesome. It would be so dope.
And same with old Ben with Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Like that would be so like and you could like, make it like a 0 health counterpart or whatever. And they just like have some like special abilities or weird shenanigans. Like, I don't know. I think
Ben would be a great counterpart for Luke.
Yeah. And I think, I really would like to see stuff like that because I kind of I feel like Legion to some extent has gotten away from the Star Wars and my Star Wars a little bit, just from like a theme and narrative. Like, I don't know.
I actually think that getting the fighters in there is bringing back some of the Star Wars feel.
Yeah. And I'd love to see Naboo fighters as well.
Oh yeah, I want an N1. That's sort of the real reason why I want like there to be an Episode 1 box is because I want an N1 Starfighter. Awesome. That's like one of the best Starfighters in the whole fiction, and I just want it. And then the third thing that you guys already mentioned is sequels. And I actually think this conversation has made me warmer on the sequel idea than I had been in the past, and it's because I thought about the fact that we literally have a functional battle force, which is to say the Onaka gang, that is 4 units, right? Like there's literally 4 units that you're allowed to take an Onaka gang. Yeah. And 3 of them are basically like, here's a bunch of weakways and then the tanks that they hang out in. And then ironically enough, the swoop bikes, you don't have a weakway option, but here's some dudes with cone heads and bandit faces and whatever on swoop bikes, and that you put them all together, you get the Onaka gang. And that is a functional battle force that plenty of people, will get to why in a little bit later, have been playing. And so when you consider that, they could easily have a resistance battle force. Now, could they have a repeatable release faction for the resistance where you would expect things to be coming out year in, year out? No. I don't think that there's enough there.
They could cover a year of releases.
They cover a year of releases. Yeah. I think that the well will run dry before they know it, which is why the sequels are more ideal for a game like Shatterpoint, where it's like characters only anyway, and so you don't need to worry about the fact that the Resistance has like one vehicle that they used in the entire sequel trilogy. That's not a starfighter.
I mean, they'd be able to make a T-70 X-wing instead of a T-65.
That's true. That's like one that they can squeeze out of there. But the First Order, is it Empire, made a little bit more like unnerving and just like a little bit. I forget. I'm trying to remember like what my brother called it. It's I think he was referring to, have you heard of the concept of yes and for improv comedy? Yeah, so he referred to First Order as the yes and of fascism for the Galactic Empire. And that's basically what it is.
Yes, and?
It's like we'll blow up your planet and we'll blow up all the other planets that are next to your planet. That's just what they're into.
No.
So it is that, but like all their vehicles are actually different, and their stormtroopers are actually different, and so and they have like a whole bunch of characters that would be good for that. I think they could do it.
Can I give you like if we're talking about wish lists?
Yeah,
I would love to see them release just a giant box of 32 unique clones.
Yes, if we're wish listing, I would love them to just re-release
TV show,
all the squad leaders for sure.
You got all your dudes, you got all these named guys. They all got like a tiny little thing that they do. There should be several of them that be like, you can take this guy even if you don't have a spare upgrade, or whatever. Like there should, I would love to see that because like my kids, like they come to like, well, this clone's good. Can you paint this one like Jesse? Can you paint this one like Heavy? And I'm just like, yeah, I could do that. I'm not very good at it, but I'll try. But it'd just be cool just to have those guys. Like,
And so your kids are asking for that, and they're not asking for Jar Jar Binks, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, no, not asking for Jar Jar Binks, but they have they have been asking for Jango Fett for like since day one. But whatever.
I do think we're leaving out what is, I think, the most likely thing that this is in reference to.
Oh wow!
Which is?
And that is the AT-AT. I think 100%. So here's the thing. Here's the
crazy answer. Crazy.
No, it's not. We're getting full scale war probably around the same time as next Adepticon, likely.
Okay.
Sure.
That is a unit that probably would not function super well at the point scale of normal Legion, though maybe it's like takeable, right? Like maybe it's like 400 points or something silly. But it's probably designed specifically for full scale war. I think there's no way that is with Starfighter. I feel like Starfighter is basically kind of uncorked the bottle on the whole vehicle thing as far as what is a reasonable thing to put on the table is scale and all that sort of things. I understand the AT-ATs are huge, but here's the thing. Armada did a Superstar Destroyer that took up half the board. It sold super well from what I understand.
I bought one and
mine's still in the shrink wrap, to be honest. It's in the closet, because the game died before I got a chance to play it.
It's very fun to play.
I'm sure it is. And I think the AT-AT is like similar thing. People have been literally asking for it, similar to Mandos. Like if you put like, what is the short list of things that people have been asking for since day one? Like that's on the list, right? If you're choosing like 3, it's like Mandos, AT-AT. I don't even know what the third one would be that would fit in that bucket, to be honest. But I feel like those are the 2 that it's like, no, we just got to do that. It's literally the most iconic ground battle. It is the focal point of the most iconic ground battle in all of Star Wars.
Here's the thing though, so that I'll tell you, let me spin you a tale about X-Wing Miniatures game, which did come out with big ships. Yeah. And this is for X-Wing, not Armada.
This tale isn't about it dying, right?
Well, no. The tale is the tale is about the fact that they. Yeah, I mean, yes, that did happen eventually.
So many of them true.
The tale is the fact that they made like the Raider and the medium transport and the Corellian Corvette, and they made all these things in scale for X-Wing, and they did make it work so that it looked good on the table, but the rules for them were so crazy that they had to separate them out into epic play, which nobody did.
Well, but they are doing that for Legion, right? Like full scale war is going to be a thing.
They're banking on it being a thing. I'm still not convinced it's going to be a thing, personally.
I mean, sure, but I mean, like, if you're going to do a new game mode, what better way to emphasize that game mode than being like, look at this hot new unit you can take in it? Like, I don't know. Like, Starfighters are also probably, in that realm of we're doing full scale war. Like, we want you to be able to put a squadron on the table, I don't know.
The other sneaky thing that X-Wing did was that they actually packaged broken upgrade cards.
They did.
With the epic ships.
They did do that.
And they tricked rubes like me into buying an Imperial Raider just to get the Emperor Palpatine upgrade card. Because here's what Palpatine did, is that once per turn, you literally just got to look at your dice face and change it to whatever you want to, no matter which ship you have. Because so it was like RAM for your entire army, Mike. Which is totally a good game mechanic.
In a game where RAM matters a lot more.
It mattered way more in X-Wing. It was the difference between winning and losing was one dice face. And so, but in Legion, you're not going to be able to trick people like that. So and if you're going to go through the cost of making AT-AT models, you need people to buy them.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
I don't think that's going to be a problem either. I think it depends. It depends on the price point, right? But I think if it's sub 250, I think people will buy them.
It would
Yep.
probably be $200.
Yeah. I mean, I think,
That's what the SSD was, by the way.
yeah, I do think because it's not painted, it's on sprues, like it's
Sure.
probably the same amount of material that's in like a Battle Force box, right? Roughly, So I could see it being like
It's gotta be more
150 if they're looking to push it, But I do think that it's probably more likely. I mean, look, here's the thing. Games Workshop
snail tanks on 6 sprues.
Yeah,
or
Games
something.
Workshop makes Titans that are like $800 and find a way to make them money.
God, do they really?
Yeah,
Yes,
dude.
they
The
do.
Titans are insanely priced.
So what you need to next time you're at Adepticon, go up to the Warhammer tables.
Mhm.
Just walk around and you'll see some nutty Titans that just look so amazing.
And even
it's fun to look at.
Even the Imperial Knights, which are smaller than the Titans. Sorry, I'm trying to get the price point for it real quick, which I can probably do pretty.
I know about the Middle Earth game where they have Smaug as a gigantic, like $600 dragon that and I think he's like your entire army when you play him or something like that.
Yeah, I mean the Imperial Knights which are like their own faction. In 40K, which are the smaller like Titan looking things, they're 200 each, and there's like 5 of them in a list.
Man,
so like, and they're probably AT-ish scale. They're probably maybe a little smaller, just because they're like a humanoid profile is like a big mech as opposed to like I guess a dog.
Sure.
Yeah,
it looks like a big dog.
Yeah, like a big dog. I don't know.
Well, we shall see. We're excited to find out what it is, and I am sure we're going to have many more chances for speculation.
There is one other point from this interview I'd like to point out.
Oh, yeah, please.
As a news item.
Yeah.
Will did mention, and this is me just trying to recalibrate the community's expectations so we don't all freak out. The mini strav is probably not happening in the same way that it normally does, and that it sounded like it is likely to be a series of articles.
Oh.
As opposed to like a series of articles stretched out over like a week, as opposed to like a show and a thing that they're putting on, and I guess less of a spectacle, more of information. Is what it sounded like, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just I think we talked last cast about mini strav, or maybe the one before that.
Yeah.
Like we're looking forward to mini strav, blah 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 blah. I think that AMG is definitely trying to reset some expectations on that front as far as what is going to be delivered in that time frame. So
I'm glad that you went over that, Mike. I do find it humorous that you were the one telling everyone not to freak out.
I mean, look, I think so. Here's the thing. It's for
That's a low blow, Brian. That's just so typical of you.
He's not wrong. I would like to shout out. It's 4 to 5 months ahead of time. It's we're having the conversation way. I think that's respectable, and I think that should be commended.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's good it's always good to get out in front of it.
Yeah. If it was November 1st and it was the first time that we had heard that mini strav wasn't really happening, I would be like, up in arms, get your pitchforks, boys, we're going in.
Yeah, and I also want to remind folks that if you're hearing this and you're feeling grumpy about it, then I would just like to kindly remind folks that, we can say this because we're truly independent over here, that AMG has fewer resources than they had last year. Asmo has laid off many employees from all of their game studios, including AMG. And, obviously, like, hiring and firing happens with any company over time, but like for those of us that have been paying attention to this sphere, like it has gotten like they're being squeezed, and so they're only human beings, and so like if folks are upset about the fact that there's going to be less spectacle to this, then I just want to remind folks where their upsetness might potentially appropriately be directed, like civilly always, of course, but
Yes.
just remember that this is how these things work, is that AMG is a studio. They are not the corporation. That would be Asmodee and their shareholders and et cetera, et cetera. So just wanted to remind folks to keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the meta, and I want to caveat this big time, which is why we're only going to sort of talk about this in kind of a quick-ish way. So you guys should be seeing a nice little PowerPoint now. And the reason why we're going to go over this like sort of quick is because there's a couple of things that are about to change in Star Wars Legion.
Just a little.
Just a couple of tiny things.
Tiny because that's the size of the cards they're on.
Yeah, and also the size of the expansion pack that is the other actual huge thing. That being the customizable Mandalorians, which I believe, basically by around the time this episode actually airs, will be legal again. Is it the end of this week? Is that right?
That's a great question. I have no idea when my.
I think it's the 7th is when they become legal. It's either that or the 14th. The 14th being the date when Battle Pack 2 becomes legal. So basically, these things are going to happen either at the same time or one after another. But yes, customizable Mandos. We have already seen some people play Mandalorians. They haven't been wrecking face, but a big part of the reason why they haven't been wrecking face is because a big part of their kit has been missing. A lot of what Mike talked about with the Kids of the Watch lists has to do with the customizables themselves and the one command card in particular that they bring with them.
Also, they did not have access to a go for broke.
Yeah. And so on top of that box, like you have the upgrade pack 2. And so, by the time we hit mid-August, that's when we're going to be in sort of like the true meta for the back half of 2026, basically. There are other releases, but those other releases are going to be like per faction. They're not going to be mega global things. Like Mandos are functionally, again, this is like the completion of a brand new faction. And then Upgrade Pack 2 obviously can benefit everybody except for clones, really.
Suck it, Shadow Collective.
And except for Shadow Collective hit the dirt on the pike, so it's not super terrible.
It won't be enough.
Yeah, it's really the clones that got almost nothing. And so just take all this with a grain of salt. But here's the first thing: Mercs. Look at that win rate for Mercs. Now, obviously, for everything up until now, we are talking about Shadow Collective, and then all of a sudden, you mix in some Monaka Gang and a little bit of Mandos that are in here too, and it is now the second most winningest faction, with Rebels, of course, leading the charge. And everything else being, except for Republic's a little bit off the mark in terms of that within 5%. Everything else is kind of hanging in there. Empire is still chilling in that 46% zone. Any thoughts that either of you two have in terms of like what things are looking like before we get into all the business that I just talked about?
I think the trends that we're seeing right now will continue. I think we'll continue to see that Merc spike to continue to go up. Rebels will.
I think it'll go up a little bit farther, actually.
Yes, and Rebels are going to climb.
They're going to stay good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that we're going to see a deviation of like. I do think Rebels. I think CIS is going to probably take a roundabout face a little bit as well. Just with adaptive combat network. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That card is
Wild.
Yeah. So, but I'm not sold that Empire is picking up a ton of new stuff. I think from the upgrade card pack, like they've got a couple units that can use hit the dirt, obviously, but it's like less globally affecting. Like the most global thing there is probably fire control, which everybody else can take too.
True, but I think Empire benefits the most easily from fire control because of Thrawn.
I agree.
Who's already sort of just like chilling there, and they have a bunch of long range shooters just like sort of at baseline.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see how the whole fire control mini game of like keeping your dude alive actually plays out. Like I've been one-shotting Jedi on turn 1 with my Paz squad, like pretty regularly.
As it was meant to be.
Yes. This is the way. But I do think we're at a point that there is enough separate mercenary armies that I'm not sure how fair the purple line on this chart is at this juncture to like I think we all can agree that Onaka Gang is probably the biggest reason that this is like spiking.
It's the biggest driver for the purple line right now anyway.
But I think it would actually I'm not sure that this graph is fair to Onaka Gang or the rest of the mercenaries, in that Onaka Gang might actually be at like 75%. Yes. It's just dragging everything so far up that it's like kind of unclear.
Funny you mentioned that, Mike. Let's actually skip directly to the Battle Force win rates for the April to August period of time. Some of these have like a little extra line next to them. I think that's sort of a data artifact. So just anything that has a double line, just look at the one on the left. So yeah, here we go. So obviously these numbers are going to be more jumpy because the N is lower for a lot of them. I was actually surprised at the fact that the numbers for Bright Tree Village is so low.
It's an expensive army to play.
It is, but and what's funny, it is an expensive army to play. And then also just merely the fact that Luktan and Hantan exist is like the thing driving Echo-based defenders to be what it is, which is kind of hilarious. And in terms of play, in terms of like how often it's getting played, and yet predictably, in my opinion, the win rate of Echo-based defenders is like still not very good. But yeah, you might notice that as of right now, the Onaka Gang is sitting at a 66% win rate, which is the highest of any of these battle forces.
It's also got like a statistically significant number of games played.
Yeah, so over 300 is like pretty good.
Well, in contrast to the rest of the battle forces, for the most part, it is what the third
Mandos
highest.
Is very popular.
Sure, but like, would you think that Onaka Gang would be played 50% as much as Mandos? Because I think that's super high.
No, I think it is super high. When you think about the fact that there's barely more 501st than Onaka Gang, and 501st is actually like, decent for the first time since it got mega nerfed. 2 years ago, pretty much at this point. So for a list that involves buying at least 2 Wheelos, and usually we're talking 4, it's doing pretty good in terms of the number of people that are playing it. Brian, anything that stands out to you when we look at this list?
Yeah, so obviously Onaka Gang's killing it. We've seen, to be honest, I feel like we had Ollie on our podcast last week, Ollie Dyer, and Ollie loves the Onaka Gang with the swoops, and swoops have been really good in England. Here in the States, I haven't seen a whole lot of success with
fewer people trying them here, I think, comparatively.
I think people have tried them. They just haven't been as successful as just the heavy pirates with the quad tanks. But I mean, Onaka's just killing it regardless. I am interested in the 58% win rate of Tempest Force. That's pretty high.
Lowish and like lowish power to that, but if you think about the things that are popular, as long as you play your ATSTs smart and stay away from like the range 1 mega impact that Rebels have, like I feel like Rebels is a pretty decent matchup for Tempest Force, because you can just start like blowing stuff apart on round 1, and they can't do a ton in response unless they have like some long range impact, which is not super common with Rebels. And then also against Onaka Gang, the Onaka Gang has to really put itself out there in terms of being able to do damage, whereas the ATSTs can be pretty safe. And then also Scout Troopers are as good. Tempest Force is
good.
Tempest Force is actually about to get substantially better with Hit the Dirt.
Yes, they are.
That's actually going to be, I hadn't even thought of that yet, but that's going to be super annoying.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I might need to build some Scout Troopers.
It's going to be a big deal.
I'm going to get flamed for this, but I really wish this upgrade pack didn't exist. Like, man.
I mean, you at heart, you're a clone player, so I would understand why you're saying that, Michael.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. And, I don't know what else, the Stormtrooper Battalion really bringing up the rear here at 31%. I think that's honestly as big of a problem of the fact that I think Stormtrooper Battalion is extremely boring. As far as a battle force goes, they didn't even put Tag in there, right? And he's like the most generic Imperial bro of all time, and he doesn't go into Stormtrooper Battalion. So, and that would literally be the one instance in which people might even consider putting Tag in an army.
What? Really? Tag?
Yeah.
Dude, Tag he spews out tokens. It's crazy.
I actually
who else does it way better is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, I actually think
that
there
was
was
a
significant like missed opportunity there. I think they should have made Tag the observation token, dude, and so that he interacted with like the probe droid shenanigans.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Like if he just like churned out a different type of token, I actually think that there would be a reason to like put him in your lists. But like the way he's built now is just like, yeah, just take your blue Chiss boy over here and have like...
Yeah, take the blue Chiss boy as your token guy, and then for your second guy, you're either going to have a customizable, or you're going to want Compel with Krennic, or you're going to want Pull the Strings with Tarkin, and your ability to take Tag at that point just like starts going into the dirt, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. I think Tag is incredibly underutilized.
He does have the graphs and the command.
I do.
Show me the list. Like, Brian, not enough people call you out for your Legion hipsterism, but like show me a list that has Tag in it that you would actually expect to perform as well as like any Thrawn list. And then I'll give you the time of day. But it's, talk is cheap, Brian. So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that people are underutilizing it. Yeah.
I can say that about anything though, Brian. Like, this is what frustrates me.
Oh, my bad.
Is that
Tag's actually good. How's that? I think Tag's
there you go. That's right. You need to put your money on the table. Just say like,
no,
people are really sleeping on so and so. Like I can say that about
Republic,
people are really sleeping on IG-88. And then like, what do I have to do to back that up? Nothing. Because like I'm just being a hipster for free, and then look at me, I'm going against the grain. My name is Brian Baer. Oh, sorry, I did my impression right. I'm going against the grain. I'm Brian Baer.
There it is. That's exactly what I sound like.
Yeah, we know. Okay, we have another sheet to show off here. We are not going to go through this whole thing because there's a lot of numbers here. But this is this is sort of the grand. How is each faction doing at each objective piece? This would be, of course, for the for primaries and secondaries. And I think that, like the fun thing to do is to like look at what is the lowest number on here, which I think is Republic. Big
Shifting
surprise, right, Mike?
priorities, yeah.
On shifting priorities, is there at 35%. What do you think about that, Mike?
I mean, this goes back to the conversation we had a couple weeks ago where, like, if your one dude out on the flank just gets wrecked, like, it's kind of unrecoverable. That's what happens at shifting priorities, right? Like, that's the whole objective. And, I mean, I think that's obviously a conversation you can bring to, like, a larger, like split objectives in general, breakthrough, whatever.
Right.
But it is perhaps at its worst on shifting priorities, where your opponent is actively moving the battlefield farther and farther apart as the game goes on.
That does make sense when you think about it.
Yes.
To look at the opposite direction, I believe that the highest number on here is rebels on retrieve the data. Now, remind me, retrieve the data. That's the one where they're all five of them are in a line, and you have to like, or no, that's the line the relay that I'm thinking of. Retrieve the data is where it's like you put two suppressions tokens on it, and then you take that point. Is that what retrieve the data is?
It's the secondary that basically says we're
you
playing
barely
the
score on
primary.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that part's interesting to where the best performance on this whole thing is rebels on the one where like the total number, just to remind folks, the total number of available points on retrieve the data is 5.
Yes.
And that usually, if they get scored, if all 5 get scored at all, which is not a given in a lot of different games just because it can be slow to do this objective, then it would usually go 3-2. But the thing that's sort of common about it is that it makes the primary matter more, and therefore it also makes just like killing your opponent in general matter more. And so go figure that the highest performing faction is like doing the best from retrieve the data, because it almost like takes the secondary away because it matters so little. That it makes the primary and just like killing your opponent matter more. Am I off on this?
Well, I think that there's a little bit more to it than that. I think it is an action objective, which means, the more units you have, the easier it is to do. And it's not only that, but it's also a secure objective. So the more like you have to action it, and then you also have to own it, right? So, if you're able to also swarm them, if you're playing against a Republic player that's playing retrieve the data, they're likely to have less units on each token. And if you toss like 2 units into it at the end of the turn, you might be able to, even though they blew their actions to try and secure it, if they're blowing actions to secure it, they may not also be able to kill your unit so that you can like go contest it with like tauntauns. Right.
And the full commandos, which like every rebel list has 3 of them, can just like, they don't really have anything better to do than to scout move, then do the action to tag this on round 1.
And strike teams generally very good at just like, we've got incognito. We're gonna run up and then like contest their thing when it's fun and easy, and maybe jump into melee in a way that they can't interact with you.
We will talk more about Sabs strikes later.
Yeah. I think that is the biggest problem for Republic right now, is that there's a lot of secondaries out there that cost actions, and Republic just generally just starts the game with fewer actions than their opponent does.
But Brian, you can take Clone Captain Rex.
Yeah, Brian, why don't you tell us that Clone Captain Rex upgrade is being slept on? You big brave boy.
I'm not going there.
I knew it. Even you have your limits.
I will say I did play a game online where Clone Captain Rex was able to do something cool because he killed a unit and then moved on to a point that I was not expecting. That's the only
And
time.
then you
Did you lose that game, Brian?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Actually,
thank you.
yeah, I did lose that game.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It's TTS, man. I'm just not good at TTS stuff. So
It's a good reminder that TTS is not Star Wars Legion. if you're out there, Masty Walk,
right.
You heard what I said. Get that persona off of Longshanks. Let us move up a peg. Anyway, let's also just wanted to briefly point out faction popularity post Mando release is that, again, even though we are pre sort of Mandos being complete with all this, is that they are still approaching they're approaching Republic in terms of overall popularity. So that actually, if you include all mercenaries, it is in fact equivalent with Republic.
Yes,
and that is only going to get stronger when Mandos are complete, as they will be by the end of this week.
So I'm interested.
So go ahead, Mike.
Because they won't be complete. Evan is loading this in a way that is untrue.
Ooh, wait. How am I wrong here?
Well, they are not getting the Fang Fighter for a while.
Okay, but nobody else is getting their fighter either, so that doesn't count.
But they're not complete.
Okay, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean, Evan. Tell me what you mean. Can we
go
ahead and look up
list.
the word complete in the dictionary and can we have a conversation about that?
You don't get to tell me about words, Michael. Okay.
All right. I will say
I'm an associate professor. I'll have you know, and I will not be talked to about words. I just want everybody to hate me as much as possible.
So I do think that the Merc on the previous slide, the Merc one is pretty low, right? I think that if you're playing pure pike lists for Shadow Collective, and all of your pikes are you got a mix in of capo squads and super squads.
Yeah.
With Hit the Dirt, those lists get quite a bit more potent.
I think that list could actually be decent, especially now that and especially running that with Maul, who has been improved by that hatred card or whatever it was called, the one where you get to hurt yourself and get bonus dice. That strictly made him better. He also got cheaper recently. So yeah, I don't know. Maul plus a bunch of pikes might actually be kind of back as far as the list go.
So Shadow Collective, enjoy it until it gets nerfed in 6 months.
Yeah, that reminds me, we still have to do our Shadow Collective tier list, which we will definitely do at some point. So yeah, we are going to transition to talking about LSO. We are going to do the thing that we've been doing recently, even though this makes a little bit less sense than the reason why we've been doing top 4 recently, but it's sort of just a clean way to talk about the top results in the tournament. So yeah, we are going to cover the top 4 of LSO, which did not include any mercs this time. The top performing mercenary list was Ryan Givens at 4 and 2. That was a Mandalorian list, not a Naka Gang list, so that's interesting. Right. But again, Mandos are about to get a whole lot better.
I do think so. The glue that holds the Mando army together is the war party leader. Yeah. Just the direct, the inspire, the retinue, it just sort of is the engine that turns everything
freaking
on.
Direct on a customizable.
It's crazy.
What the hell? They couldn't give direct to a Jedi general?
And it's it's not just direct. It's direct basically anybody in your army as long as they share the same affiliation,
Yeah.
There's some really crazy things you can do with that, direct the armor every turn. That's pretty good,
Exactly. It's pretty good. Okay, so let's get into it. At number 4, we have Blade Rawunner. That's maybe I'm just getting too old for the lead speak these days, but that is also aka Derek, and he had a CIS list. It was Kalani, non-wheeled by Grievous, and 3 B2s with the ACM Heavy, a single B1, a single Magna Guard with a whip and into the fray, Crab Droid with defense and twin blaster cannons, a Deca and 2 heavy aqua droids. So pretty kind of like a potpourri CIS list that just I guess you could just like call it CIS good stuff. The crab droid, I assume, was giving Scout to Grievous.
So that was my initial conclusion, and then I thought, wait, do you think he gave Scout to the Droideka now that you can do that?
Yeah, that is a thing you could do.
Could.
I'm not saying it's like
it probably
I'm
wouldn't give you round one shot still.
Maybe, I don't know, because you can do. It's just Scout 1, right?
Scout 1. So you would it's the same movement. They'd be able to basically move twice and shoot. And they'd basically get steady that turn. Like, I don't know. That seems like
if your opponent really opens himself up, then yeah.
Or it's the right objective, right? If you're playing breakthrough or something like that, like that's a little bit more. I don't know. It was just something that occurred to me looking at this list specifically because I can't tell you when the last time I saw a crab droid in a list was actually. And I was like, oh, you can actually scout. Technically, you can scout the Aquas too, but obviously that is garbage because they don't need it.
But they have infiltrate. Why would you bother?
Right, but the Droidekas, I don't know. Like they're kind of slow. They're sometimes hard to get on task. Like I could see a world where sometimes. I don't know. The one of Droideka made me think maybe.
I think you're doing Grievous or the Magnus for sure.
I think that's definitely far more likely.
Yeah. But B2 just like regular old B2s and a heavy. Not something we usually see, and it is only an 11-act list. But obviously he did pretty well.
He did great. I am surprised. I feel like 11X with CIS right now is a bit of a challenge, and he seemed to do very well with it, which is good.
I mean, it is a 11-act list that has like mostly red saves or a bunch of armor.
Yeah, and there's only one filler unit, which is the single B1. Everything else is like, Kalani's not really fighting, but everything else is actually like fighting in this list.
Yeah.
So, you have a lot of like a high unit quality average in that list. So yeah, nice job, Derek. Then we have Houdini 33, Justin, did very well. Very nice guy, Justin. And he is, he's part of this, like the group that like, he's one of a couple guys that is active duty military who plays. So, very cool that he did well, and he was playing Rebels. And I see here Han Solo Reluctant Hero. Okay, I see Luke Skywalker, Commander Skywalker. That is of course the Tauntaun version, not the on foot version. Rebel Officer Fighting for Freedom. Yeah, SX-21 Rebel Troopers. Commandos with the Saboteur, ATRTs, strike teams. It looks like Rebels, and he did have Din in there also. Should I? Yeah, he does. He does have Din that just got buffed for some reason.
Yeah,
Brian. Should I feel bad about the fact that I see these Rebel lists and my eyes just gloss over? By now, is that I see an entire ocean of gray, and I don't even see the waves in the ocean. It's like I'm looking at a painting that is the size of the Pacific or the Atlantic, and that's all I see. Tell me I'm being unfair.
No, I think it's pretty accurate. But those mountains and those mountains in the background, those are waves.
Wow.
and that's,
oh man,
that is the rest of the Rebels coming at you.
Yeah. Boy, that part of Interstellar really freaked me out. That whole scene was just so unsettling.
It was so great. It was so good.
It was great. I mean, it was great in the theater, but man, I was just like, these guys made a mistake by going on this mission. This sucks. He's about to get crushed by a 3,000-foot tall tidal wave, you moron.
And that's what it feels like to play against Rebels.
And that's what it feels like to play against Rebels, where this 13 activation list is actually 14 activations. And, it has...
There's 0 filler activations in this list.
Yeah, there's no fillers.
Literal 0.
We just talked about the CIS list where it was like, yeah, wow. There's really only there's really only 2 units that don't fight in this 11-act list. Well, in this 13-act list, all 13 acts fight. Like, that's just what it is. And also, it's actually 14 activations because of stupid Han, stupid Solo.
Yeah.
And so, Justin, and also later on, Colton, I just want to remind you guys that I'm not hating the player here. You guys did great, but I absolutely 1000% hate the state of rebel armies right now. It is boring as fill in the blank, guys. This is a podcast for kids. You know exactly what I was going to say, and I hate it, and I hope that it changes. Mike, do you think it's going to change?
I think intrinsically I don't think it can. I don't think. And the reason
is too good.
There are like several different touch points on these rebel lists.
You really got me going, Brian. This is your fault. Anyway, keep going, Mike.
Yeah, I think there are several different touch points here, and that it is like, even I think these lists are still really good, even if, like, let's imagine a world where Han doesn't have access to his 1-pip. Like, I still think these lists are really good.
Oh yeah, the lists don't change. Maybe they take Han out for somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe for like another 100-point unit or whatever. I'm not even
sure. Another stupid rebel officer with thermal detonators and the heavy blaster pistol. We're getting to you in a second, Cole. And you had 2 of them, and I am especially upset with you. Go ahead. Sorry, Mike.
These guys are so efficient.
I mean, it's not like we've been like griping about like that specific tech for literally the day it got revealed.
For about 10 months. About 10 months we've been griping about that exact thing. It was last either September or October that I went on my rant about the thermal detonator and how it functions with the heavy blaster pistol in this stupid faction. But it would barely change if you took the Han thing out. You're right.
I do think that I'm actually a little bit on the opposite side of this coin. I think that more armies in the game should look like this. I think the rebel army and what it looks like on the table feels to me like a complete army. And I think most other armies have to make major sacrifices in what they choose to bring to the table. Rebels don't have to do that right now. I think we can have an argument over what is good or worse for the game, but I do think that when I play a rebel army, I'm like, this feels great. I have enough points to spend on like all these cool things, and it feels fun to be in that position. And I think from a fun perspective, I would like other factions to feel the same way, as opposed to trying to like beat rebels down. I actually don't think, outside of like Han, there's any one unit in this list that is like obnoxiously good. I think that's like pre-hit the dirt conversation. I do
think Ton Luke is a little bit undercosted.
He's certainly above the curve as far as power to points go, but I don't think it's like he doesn't do anything dramatically insane to change the game state. I think really he's just very efficient, right?
Yeah.
Which I think it's okay. I think characters should be allowed to be efficient within reason. I
will say, after playing against Han and playing with Han multiple times, I think if there is a tweak done to just the unstoppable past shenanigans, I think that we're having a much different conversation, because Han does pop. Like he will pop.
Yeah. I think if we're in a situation where, I think we've been advocating for a long time now, like we should be counting activations, not units, as far as the pass token shenanigans goes. I think if something like that happens, I'm much more okay with Han as a unit. The primary issue with Han, in my opinion, is that I get to go like last like 2 to 3 times every time.
Yeah.
That is the primary problem. I don't
100%.
think I mean, I think even if that gets fixed, he probably still has to go up in price a little bit. I do think he's like way too cheap.
I'll be honest. I think a little bit, but I don't think a whole lot. Like I would start with 5.
Oh no, I think I think even with Unstoppable being nerfed, I think he's probably 20 points too cheap. I just the rate of damage he does a turn is more than any other Jedi you can put on the table. Like without playing with just the 1 pip.
I don't know, man. I'm so curious to watch those games because playing with and against him a lot, like his damage is okay, and he usually dies before you want him to do before he's able to do the real damage.
Did you know that IG-88 is 20 more points than Hantan?
That's insane.
It turns out 10 Pierce 2 is just which is the average result of what Hantan does a turn. You know, are we putting that in the low realm of damage? I don't know.
If you can get it off, it's great. But I just think it's harder to get off than what people think.
Shouldn't Fifth Brother is 7 more points than Hantan?
Again,
if anybody wants evidence of Brian's toxicity, just listen to him try and argue that Hantan is 5 points too cheap.
I think if Unstoppable pass token whatever crap gets fixed, then I think that I think we'll see a heck of a lot less of Hantan, and I don't think he's going to be that overpowered.
There certainly would be less of him if the stupid the pass token thing. It's so hateable at this point, and so that's probably a big part of what's making me hate on these Rebel lists is that they are to a big extent taking and again, not hating the players here, but it's taking advantage of a game mechanic that feels rotten to the core, which is the connection between Unstoppable and pass tokens.
I mean, it's clear. It's
truly rotten to the core, and I'm not afraid to say it that way. That is just a game mechanic that needs to go yesterday.
Oh man, I wonder who could have thought of that.
Yeah, it's something that Mike's maybe been saying since day one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should move on. Cesar Fuentes was playing Republic, Michael. He had an 11-act Gar list that had naturally Yoda. I feel like these high-performing Gar lists, unless they're 501st, have been Yoda pretty much every time.
He's the only. I hesitate to say this because, again, I'll probably get flamed. I think he's the only playable commander in Gar, really.
Whoa. That's...
I think that with the disengaged force power that Anakin enters the conversation in a significant way.
I don't think Anakin
especially because 501st is already sort of getting back towards relevance, is that Anakin with the disengaged to have a cheap way to just wreck a lot of face compared to spending the more money on force push is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, this list also had Clone Captain Rex, who is basically there with Recon Intel, I should mention, who is there to give Scout 2 to Yoda, and also this other unit, which is Bad Batch Clone Force 99.
Yeah.
And then also we have Padme and 1 infantry, 2 marksmen, all with mortars, which is basically the weapon of choice for Republic core at this time. That's especially going to be true in the age of fire control, I think. When hashtag uncumbersome just becomes hashtag get your dice back to what they should have been in the first place.
Actually, I've been thinking about that a lot, and
yeah.
I actually think it's more than that. If you take overcharged blaster packs and fire control, even when you move on to the board, you can just fire 2 red, critical 1, suppressive overwhelm because you have an arc aim to share. So you're just firing 2 red dice with critical 1 and jumping 3 suppression.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
I don't know. That seems pretty good. Honestly.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of being able to just dump 9 suppression onto a unit out there.
You'll literally be able to score the panic on bring them to heal probably 100% of the time.
Yeah, actually, that's true. even against a Yoda list,
yes,
you could do that. That's crazy.
You literally only Darth Vader lists would be a problem.
Yeah. God, that's nuts. And then he rounded it out with 2 arcs with clone medics. and then 2 sniper strikes.
No Jedi
So-
Guardians? No things that don't shoot
Okay,
guns?
well, obviously there's no generic Jedi in there because,
Oh,
don't be
okay.
crazy.
No Ahsoka?
Yes. Okay, but what people
Okay.
are going to call you out for, Mike, is the fact that Bad Batch is on here. You buried them last episode,
Yeah.
which I think was slightly unfair.
No, I still feel pretty confident in that mentality. One success does not a good unit make.
That is true. And also, to be fair, is that this is in the context of it being a Scout 2 Bad Batch, which is a different conversation than you are typically having with Bad Batch.
You are literally paying like 260
I know. I know.
points to make this thing a thing. It's just obnoxious. You could
Brian,
how many hauntons is that? That 3? You could have 3 hauntons for that price?
Oh my God. It really is disgusting. Brian, quickly, let's change the subject. So right now we're seeing a lot of Yoda. Do you think that, okay, who do you think after High Council comes out and after Upgrade Pack 2 comes out?
Yes.
Like, who do you think are the top 3 GAR commanders?
Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda again.
Commanders?
Yes.
I think it'll be Yoda, Anakin.
Okay, I agree so far.
And probably Cody or Rex.
Yeah, Cody is the correct answer. I think it's a boring answer to me because like Cody is already kind of like a default choice for a non-Jedi, in my opinion.
I'll be real here. I don't think.
Yeah, what you got, Mike?
I actually would take the Jedi General before Cody at this juncture. I don't like it, but I would do it. Like if I had to pick, I think Cody just doesn't bring enough to the table for me for his cost. His command cards are super awkward most of the time. They don't do a ton outside of like if you're in 212 specifically. Okay, there's like some synergies there.
Yeah, but he's also basically your only choice.
Yes. But I think the Jedi General just particularly with the new force powers, I don't think it like fixes the customizables, but I do think that it does give there is more reason to take them. I think the prepared position guy with some of the refresh abilities is actually sort of interesting because he like starts on the table and can use it like a couple extra times basically.
Yeah.
I do think some of the new force powers opens the door for Obi-Wan to make a little bit of a resurgence. I mean, Obi-Wan's never had a massive play, right? There's been a few select people that played Obi-Wan to great effect. I think we'll see some of that as well still after High Council releases.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I did reach out to Isaiah after Upgrade Pack 2 came out. And let's see. Oh yeah. I had messaged him, Isaiah, I need a hot take. Do any of these new upgrades make you interested in Obi again? And he said, I don't think so. So that is the former world champ commenting on whether Obi can be recovered from being 20 feet underground.
I actually right now. I want to change my answer completely now that I've now that
as is your right.
Yes, I actually think Ahsoka is probably third. I actually think the independent recover with some of the new force abilities is actually quite good. Yeah. The more I've thought about that, the more I think that is a thing that will happen. I think being able to like recover battle mind in extra time every turn, basically by like if you, for instance, if you take Ahsoka and Shock T and just use all of Ahsoka's cards as like Shock T, like as if they had Shock T printed on them, I think that's fine. And you also just get a bunch of more value out of the force powers by putting them on Ahsoka. Obviously, she's only got 1 force slot, which is unfortunate. But You know,
Yeah, because you could use battle mind like 8 or 9 times in a game theoretically if you did it that way, right?
you could, I think you could use it technically a lot more than that. So in theory, you could, like the play pattern could be top of turn, you recover it, you use it during your activation. You like, if you're in melee, you could recover, swing your lightsaber, use battle mind, then immediately get it back.
It would come back, yeah.
Right. So you could in theory refresh it 3 times every turn. Obviously, I think that's a little bit of Christmas landing going on there.
That is worth less than a name token for your own attack, right? Yeah. So you wouldn't want to do that.
Well,
no, I think battle mind on any unit that is Pierce 2 or more is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's generally like definitely.
I mean she is only Pierce 1, right?
Oh God, yeah. You know, actually, that's the thing that sort of makes me more iffy on Ahsoka is the fact that the value of Pierce 1 just seems astronomically lower than it was before Impervious changed.
I mean, that's true of all of the new Jedi in Republic. It's like all the customs are all Pierce 1 unless you're able to get the lethal on target, right?
Which means that like you're specifically talking about a Guardian with double bladed, right? I mean, in terms of being able to get that, and but a good example of this, and this is why I actually would argue that, you know, the Wheelbite Grievous should only be changed by adjusting the 1-pip situation, and after that he might actually be a little bit too expensive. But his Pierce 1 over and over again thing against Mandos is suddenly worth like literally nothing. And you know, so that's also true against ARC Troopers. It's true against BX. And like a big part of what made Grievous work was that you functionally had this like big Pierce 2 attack that you could do every round. That was like, you know, a 10 dice attack on top of the Jedi Arts crap. And now, like, yes, it's still 10 dice, but now it's 10 dice that have Pierce 0 because it's Pierce 1 that's being split up over and over again against a bunch of Impervious units. And it's just like way less good than it used to be. So I don't know. I was watching some streamed game at LSO where it was Wheelbite Grievous out, and he was like doing a bunch of attacks against an Impervious unit, and I was just like, ew, gross. So I'm glad I don't play this guy anymore. But yeah, let's getting back to LSO. So nice job with that list, Cesar. Colton Evans, who is not a stranger to the Texas Oklahoma tournament scene. He has won plenty of these things across the years, and he ran Rebels. If you asked me to pick this out from that same gray sea, then I would tell you that it looks like a gray ocean to me. Aside from the fact that, just like to trigger me a little bit more, we have 2 guys with the heavy blaster and thermal detonator combo instead of the usual one. It's not just the Fighting for Freedom guy. We also have the Defender of Democracy. Still a hilarious subtitle to me, by the way. And he also had Lando. I think Lando is maybe the most interesting piece of this. Like, I mean, did either of you get to watch these games?
Yes. I was not able to watch it, but I will say that Lando dials Han up. Like the fact that their synergy together is kind of insane. Yeah, it's just really...
command card wise. You mean?
Yes,
command card wise, one step ahead wise. Like,
oh yeah, one step ahead.
There's a lot of shenaniganry you can do with it.
Yeah, and, for sure.
Like, I mean, I also think that this is going to be the blueprint. Like, you find 5 points, you throw fire control on Lando, and
yes, 100%.
Like, and this list goes from being already really, really oppressive to, you know, there are 8 units that can probably use fire control pretty reasonably on turn 1.
Oh yes.
And benefit from it pretty substantially. The strike teams, the commandos, and the ATRTs. You know, the rebel troopers probably a little bit less so, obviously. But yeah. I mean, if you trigger it 8 times a turn, that's pretty good. And there's so many activations in this list. Like 8 units is only half the list, my dudes. You only need to put half your list around your commanders.
I did not mention the fact that there's a 15 activation list that's actually a 16. And again, there's no actual filler in this list.
No.
Nope.
Like it's just a bunch of good stuff. And there's another good place to remind folks that to a large extent the SX21 is still like it almost feels like it's still the only truly affordable core heavy upgrade. It's the only one that really always feels good to spam, like no matter what. Like it's not to say that there aren't some core heavies that aren't fine, good. You know, I actually think that the HH12 and the Clone Mortar are both good heavies to sort of just put on all your core.
They're
at
fine.
This point.
They're fine.
Yeah,
right?
they're fine. They're good. But the SX21 is how many points again? Is 15?
13, my dude.
13. It's 13 points.
2 red, 2 white, right? 2 red, 2 white.
It is non-surgy. It's non-surgy, but
okay.
It's 2 red, 2 black. If you split fire though.
That's true.
It's actually both sides of the pool. So are 2 red, 2 black if you split fire. So it turns that rebel fire control turns that rebel trooper into a 4 red, 4 black. It's like isn't that like basically like a Wookiee Warriors unit in melee without the pierce?
Yeah, you do have to be range at 2. But yes, that's
sure.
Yeah.
It's also like a third of the cost.
Yeah.
I guess it's
why don't you keep
half.
trying to defend it, Brian? Just be your toxic self.
Oh yeah.
And also, you 3 points. So, what? Maybe a good question here, Brian, is what are you cutting out of this list to purchase all of your hit the dirts and fire control?
Oh, I'd take out both SXs.
Well, that's.
I think that is the right answer.
That's certainly not enough points to purchase all of those things.
Well, it's. What is that? 13. So it's 26 points.
26. You don't need to put hit the dirt on everything, right? I mean,
yeah, you don't need it on your strike teams.
You don't need it on the strike teams.
You just need it on your
just the commandos then.
The full commandos and the Cassian fleets.
Cassian.
Okay.
And then maybe your commander rebel officer generic.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually,
I guess okay, fair. I guess the SX21 is not cheap enough. These new upgrades are going to make it obsolete. Oh man!
And then I want to pivot here to our final topic because just want to repeat, congratulations to Colton Evans. You went 6-0.
Yeah, Colton, good job playing that Oklahoma flag.
I do want to, before we move on, just give a shout out to Jerry's Game Shop for streaming the event.
Oh yeah, they did a great job.
They did a great job. Evan also was the benefactor.
Yeah, they gave me a prize because I deserved it.
Yes.
Obviously.
So, Jerry, thank you for streaming it. We really appreciate
you really did well. So thank you, Jerry.
It's a lot of time and effort to do that stuff. So,
I'm going to be doing a much less good job of that at Evergreen Open in a couple weeks. Like, I'm going to have some sick overlays to mask a not sick hardware setup that I'm going to have, and so we're just going to see how that goes. But sorry, Brian, you were saying something toxic about Oklahoma.
I just wanted to make sure that we put up the LSO banner behind me.
Nice.
This is what the LSO banner looks like for the last 2 years. So congratulations, Texas. You never looked so good.
Yeah, and yet for the Oklahoma Open, which is also a GT, that I feel like that channel of the Discord is still remarkably quiet about the fact that some dude from Washington won the last one, and they keep talking about, oh, we're going to bring the trophy back to Texas, or no, Oklahoma's going to have the trophy. I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, did you forget that, some coastal elites just like came over to your house and smushed you with General Grievous on a wheel bike? Now, is that going to happen this year? Definitely not, because wheelbike Grievous is not broken enough anymore. But I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
Are you going again, Evan?
I'm planning on it. Yeah. I haven't bought the tickets yet, and luckily they still have some tickets because I still need to confirm that I'll be able to have work off because my schedule is not built out until then. But yeah, I am hoping to go back there.
All right.
But yeah, do you want to pivot?
That a thing too.
What did you say, Brian? Are you going to try and make it down there?
Nice.
Oh man, I don't know whether Isaiah's going to try and make it back down there again. But God, it would be great if the Coastal Elites could just take it again and just remind you guys of where you are.
What? I'm Team Oklahoma all the way, man.
Yeah, middle of the country just runs together at a certain point. Okay, so yeah, Mike knows how it is.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make as many people mad as possible during this episode. So speaking of rebels, Brian, you earlier made an incendiary statement when you said that anybody who's taking strike teams on the rebel list is wrong. And that includes Colton Evans, by the way.
No, I didn't
say
strike
teams.
Strike teams.
Sorry, who's taking sniper strike teams? I should be more specific. Is wrong, and so please back up your inflammatory opinion with why are Sabs the real answer for the real ones?
So I think sniper strikes are like A+ tier. I think Sab strikes are broken.
Okay, explain how it is that you'd use a rebel Sab strike to advance your game state.
Yeah, so you infiltrate them and you move forward and you stand by.
You mean prepared positions,
and
right?
you stand by, and that's all you do. And then all of a sudden, like you get to the point where they are standing on a POI. There's no one else there, and they have a standby token, and you have multiple of them on a POI, and then your opponent can either decide to jump onto that POI and eat 3 Sab shots to their face, or not just that. Sorry, not just that. But when that happens, not only are they eating 12 dice, but they are also suddenly activating 3 units on that POI. Like just poof, there they are. Now they're scoring.
Yeah.
Whereas they weren't scoring before. So your opponent can decide to either leave that alone or come and eat some dice and maybe kill a strike and then have to waste other good dice pools against the stupid rest of the strikes who are going to be low profile and in heavy cover already. Right. So it's such a problem on the POIs that you can control what your opponent, you just force really bad decisions on your opponent's part.
It's also the cheapest unit in the game.
It is 34 points.
It is. Yeah.
34.
God.
For the
That's
low
literally even
cost cheaper than Mace Windu the upgrade.
That's cheaper than an Ewok Slingers unit.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheaper than 5s. Cheaper than Rex.
Is that cheaper than a pro? It's cheaper than a pro drop at one point.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's a lot better.
And it's way better than a pro droid, right? Like it's way better than a pro droid.
And I'll also say that they're not even as good as the Empire strikes. So the Empire strike teams will actually do damage, whereas the other ones, the rebel ones, like they're going to do good damage into an armored unit, but in everyone else, it's okay. It's not great, but they're 34 points.
Yeah.
They literally, if they did no damage, they would be fine, Yeah.
And before the show, we were even talking about BX Sabs as being another good option. And that would typically it's more expensive, but you can also give them charge, which increases your options as far as like what you're going to do with them before they break incognito.
Yep.
Because, even though the other 2 Sabs is that like doing the move standby is sort of like their best trick and that it's going to be playing on repeat over and over again to a large extent. The BX Sabs, they could do that, but then if they want to, they can also just like double move charge into melee and be safe after that.
Yep.
They have poison.
That's the biggest problem with them.
They have poison.
Yeah.
And poison. So the BX Sabs are crazy because you move forward with them just like you do with all the other ones. You get on a POI, you hit your standby, and if you actually don't want, you just have their standby there just to back them up, because you don't want to use their standby to charge anything, because they can't use the attack if they charge into a unit, right?
Yeah.
So you're just using the standby just to back up, and then you're charging in the next round. And so you're just keeping them safe, and they're deciding the engagement, and they get first strike pretty much all the time.
Mike, was what this game needed was more ways to make your opponent regret interacting with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to kind of go back to the original strike team conversation, like everything about the strike teams, whether it's the sniper or whether it's the Sab, it's just like this unit that doesn't allow you to really interact with your opponent in a healthy way. I guess you could argue that, the interaction of allowing yourself to move on a POI, I guess, is interacting. But I mean,
that's the Brian Baer argument, though.
I think we've, there's a lot of things that we've seen over the last, 6 months to a year where it's like, it's just like sort of punishing you for playing the game, and I think the Sabs are very much in that boat. There are people out there in the world that are just going to be like, man, that's like super degenerate, and I'm going to play that a mile a minute every game.
Yeah, both
the Sabs are going in there, man. We're doing the thing. And you know what? As an even bigger, like, kick 'em while it's down thing, what faction doesn't have Sabs, Brian?
Mercenaries.
Keep going. What other faction does not have saboteurs?
God. It's truly unbelievable.
It is.
Just like how much of a little. Again, this is the second time that I've been really tempted to curse, but we are a family-friendly podcast. But a little four-letter word you are, Brian Baer, that you get mercenaries. No, Brian. The Republic does not have access to saboteurs. They can't do these silly tricks.
No, it's true.
And as quote unquote compensation, they were given like a sort of a normal heavy weapon for the arcs. But I think that they would have been happier if they just invented an arc saboteur.
But the thing about it is the gunner isn't even eligible to take in the strike team.
Right. And yeah, so it's like a normal heavy weapon for regular arcs. But for the arc strike, you still only have one option.
Yes.
And, to a large extent, we can actually blame FFG for that, because they're the ones that designed ARC troopers in the first place and didn't give them more than one non-unique heavy option for the original thing. And so that sort of, and so from a model's perspective, they wouldn't have had a guy holding a grenade to make into a saboteur. Which is tough.
Is it tough? Is it tough to print an upgrade that isn't represented on the model in this like era of overcharged blaster packs and hit the dirt and like anti-tank munitions and jetpack rockets and flamethrowers that aren't modeled on the models and like, come on.
The flamethrower is actually a very good point.
I will say, I would feel a lot. I would be fine with the disparity of the strikes between GAR and the other factions if the GAR strikes, those arc strikes continued to have, if they kept charge on them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm feeling quite a bit better. I am a bit bummed that they took charge off those guys, because
defend one's equal to charge, right?
It's exactly as good.
It's
in the faction that doesn't get any orders ever.
We also don't have tactical anymore.
Now, if they had independent one, that would be a different story for me.
I agree.
I think independent one.
I agree, but that goes against the whole clone thing. You're not allowed to give independent to clones.
I actually think that this is a big reason that Yoda is actually the only playable commander in GAR right now. And by playable, I'm obviously meaning like very high level, is that a big portion of that is strike teams are kind of, I think to a large degree, mandatory. And one of the only ways to actually trigger defend at any reasonable rate
is Yoda's 3-pip.
Is Yoda's 3-pip.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys aren't big fans of strike teams. I love the theme of the strike team.
I like them being a thing in general.
I'm a huge fan of how the army lists feel on the table right now. It feels very army and thematic. I love it.
I think strike teams being a thing is fine. I think incognito strike teams. I think we need I think the problem is incognito. And I think it's actually a couple things. It's incognito. I think suppressive on the sniper or overwhelm on the snipers. Like overwhelm should probably get deleted off that unit card. I think incognito probably should get deleted off that unit card. And I think once you do those two things, it's fine.
I think incognito could be okay. I actually think that standby should break incognito.
I disagree there, but I think incognito
when you take a standby, just so that we're clear, like taking the standby action would break incognito.
I don't think so. I think the simple fix would be you get incognito for round 1. Boom, done. I think that's fine.
I think that's fair.
I do like I think what's the term? Overwhelm's too strong on snipers. It's just too easy to have 2 snipers on a corner and just be like pink pink. Oh, that guy's panicked.
Panic, instant panic.
Yeah. And I'm 100% in favor of that because it's just overwhelm is just too strong on the snipers.
Yeah, this is also like if we're nitpicking, I think I would have much rather had them be critical 1 than surge crit. Generally.
Yes.
I think that the armor conversation is also one that hasn't come up a ton yet, but as we see more Onaka Gang enter the equation and we see, perhaps more Tempest Force on top tables and stuff, I think that's going to start being like a real thing.
Yes.
It's a little weird that the sniper rifles can often put 2 to 3 past armor if you're fishing around for crits. Like, I don't know.
It's like a sniper rifle compared to a literal mortar.
Yes.
Which is a piece of light artillery has critical 1, whereas a sniper rifle is surge to crit for 3 dice. It does not super track well.
And when you're rolling with especially like things the rebels strike teams that you're shooting at range 3, you're using 4 dice with an aim.
Yeah. You're going to get a couple crits in there.
Those crits and surges are showing up, and it does feel weird. I would agree.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, once again, you've just managed to bring every ounce of your Brian-ness to this cast. Mike and I are both feeling upset. And how do you feel about yourself?
As long as you guys are upset, I'm happy.
I see you're smiling, you're grinning. You're going to be telling your little friends at Nerf Herders about, like, I went onto their podcast and I ruined their day.
I'm going to be honest
about Sabs strike teams.
I'm gonna turn the table here, Evan. I'm actually not upset at all. We brought Brian Baer, the elite top 1% rebel player who thinks Haunton apparently doesn't need to be nerfed. He also was
fine, says Brian Baer.
Yeah, and he was like, you know what? No, strike teams. This is a guy who doesn't think Haunton should be nerfed, but does think strike teams are too oppressive, which I think reinforces a lot of our positions. So I'm okay with what happened here today. He's obviously wrong about Haunton. I think the community at large understands that. I think if I hear another person gripe about it, it'll be another penny in the jar, and I'll have several $100.
Yeah. Mike, that was some good gaslighting. It was almost like Brian level gaslighting. Nice work. I mean, we can't hold a candle to the true champion, but we can at least
taught
pretend.
You well.
Brian, thanks so much for coming on our podcast. Love to have you back sometime.
Yeah, it's always fun, man.
Yeah, whatever you say. All right, Mike, how do we land the plane?
This has been the Notorious Scoundrels, Season 4, Episode 67. I'm Mike.
I'm Evan.
I'm Brian.
Stay fresh, cheese bag.